Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back, KS family. Our community's mission is to bring more kindness, integrity, and skill into the crypto space. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 1.3% to 38,470. Ethereum up 2.98% to 2688. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. If you're going through a life pullback at the moment, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. Just keep on fighting through it. In the last video, we introduced the CTKS Ambassador designation. That's the highest honor in crypto technical analysis. CTKS ambassadors have shown their dedication and commitment to crypto technical analysis in all its facets, especially the real wealth aspects of integrity, decency, and kindness. These ambassadors are available when you go to www.cryptotechnicalanalysis.org and you just scroll down. These particular ambassadors have very, very good discount codes for the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. I know many people are interested in buying the Masterclass. These particular people, and there's many names that you will recognize, they have special coupons that will allow you to get up to 80% off the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. The CryptoTradingKS Masterclass is a premium Rolls-Royce level masterclass on crypto technical analysis using the CTKS method that basically replaces candlestick charting, and it has many other inventions. You can also see that there is a foundation section. Everything is time released, and I urge people to just go one video at a time. Every single video has new information. If you skip around the videos, you will not do yourself justice. As a former lecturer in first and second year statistics for many years, I know how to actually impart knowledge in an easy to understand manner. I've used what is called exponential learning techniques and just-in-time knowledge. You will see that there are many sections in the masterclass, and it has a wealth of information. What I've done is basically take my 30 plus years in financial markets, and I'm transferring my knowledge and skills to you. If you would like to go across to the testimonials section and see why I created the masterclass, I think that's really important to know my intentions. And it also explains why we have ambassadors instead of me just offering the coupon code myself. One thing that a lot of people don't understand about markets, it's basically psychological warfare, and that warfare is predominantly internal. It's the person fighting against fear and greed. They are very strong forces. That's why Rule 781 is so important. Crypto technical analysis is a skill, but it's also a philosophy. Crypto technical analysts focus on maintaining a positive excellence life trend through real wealth. Hard work paves the road to success. Many people approach the crypto market as like a casino, somewhere where you can get lucky. Yeah, definitely you can get lucky, but luck comes and goes. The only thing that will keep the money in your pocket long term is knowledge, and that is hard won by. Knowledge is, well, it takes a lot of time to actually understand how markets work, but there's more to it. If you get money but don't understand the rules of money, you can lose it. You can make it, definitely, but you can lose it just as quickly. That's why it's really important to have a positive excellence life trend. This is all about having integrity and decency, kindness, gratitude, happiness, avoiding conflict where possible, but having strength, courage, honor, and boundaries. It's not the absence of conflict, it's the intelligent management of it. We often talk about KS zone analysis, the 4 stages that all investors and traders progress through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 and Zone 2 are the certainty zones. They're the terror zones, the stress zones, the loss zones, the zones where people feel absolutely terrible. They can get elated because prices go up and then basically depressed as price comes down. These are horrible zones to be a part of. Zone 3 is how to consistently make money, and Zone 4 is how to enjoy life, but it's also how to keep the wealth that you create. People can get really lucky if they gamble and the horse comes in, so to speak, in the crypto space. They can do really well. But even if that horse comes in without the knowledge of Zone 3 and Zone 4, they won't know when to cash out. So they'll end up holding on to a losing position. In Zone 3, we have patience, we have rules, and we actually take advantage of probability through what is called a 10-5-10 volatility fund. I'll talk more on this later, but the concept is making money consistently and profitably realistically depends when you buy. That is one of the most important things. Turning to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we're getting a reading of 26, which is fear. We've been under extreme fear for quite a long period of time. It's good to see the market starting to turn around, but this is kind of what we expected anyway. A lot of people new to the crypto market get into leverage. Unfortunately, leverage, going long and going short, can actually wreck you, and even hedges where you hedge in going long and going short can actually get liquidated in both directions and wipe out accounts. It happens to countless people. Over the past 24 hours, there's been 147.58 million in liquidations across nearly 50,000 positions. In the past hour, nearly 70% of those liquidations were short, and over the past 4 hours, nearly 86%. Over the past 12 hours, nearly 89%, and over the past 24 hours, over 61%. What does this basically mean? It means that people are getting liquidated both to the upside and to the downside, but more downside liquidations at the moment, and we can see that being witnessed in terms of increasing price as well. I mentioned quite a few episodes ago that the Bitcoin futures open interest chart looked to be actually forming a support level. We had that bounce as I anticipated. This is really good for Bitcoin because when we actually get bounces in futures open interest, we often see Bitcoin's price starting to come up. It's not 100% guaranteed that we'll see it immediately, but it does follow very, very closely. Nothing is 100%. We don't live in certainty, we live in probability, and we seek to stack probabilities wherever we can. Rule 138, all investors become traders every time they buy or sell. A lot of influencers in the crypto space do not know how to trade, and for any crypto technical analysts, it's quite easy to spot that they don't know. And many have a retail mindset instead of an institutional mindset. What does that basically mean? What it means, retail mindsets typically buy when things are green and typically sell when things are red. If they get caught in the wrong cycle, they can basically buy at the top and sell at the bottom. Traders have a very, very different mindset. They understand the mechanics of markets and also the rules of the markets. After being in financial markets for more than 30 years, I share my rules with you to help. Rule 4 is a particularly powerful one. Price moves in waves. Bitcoin has been coming down for about 83 days. That is a wave down. Because price moves in waves, we know that wave down will result in a wave up. We're just waiting for it. Rule 45 is also incredibly important. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Bitcoin is currently trading at 38,327. What do we see here? we can see a very, very strong resistance level at 38,935. Price has come up to it before and been rejected. The sellers are pushing the price down. Price gathered momentum, coming back to retest. Sellers pushing price down. You can see the buyers really want to break through this 38,935 level. And when they do, I believe a lot of shorts could get liquidated on the other side. Basically, shorts do the opposite of what longs do. A long buys here and seeks to sell when price goes higher. A short sells first and then buys back when price goes down. You can always see that price must move in a wave, because what we're actually seeing is group dynamics at play. When the shorts see that they're not successfully pushing price down, they're going to start to get worried, and they're going to start to buy back their positions, which can actually make price rally. And those rallies can get way out of hand, like what happens when longs get leveraged. When a long gets leveraged, they sell. And when enough of them sell, when they get liquidated, they cause these long price rejections. That's really important to understand as well. Friends don't let friends leverage trade, so we only buy at spot. But the concept of understanding leverage is really important. And we can see that leverage traders are starting to re-enter the market. I drew quite a few episodes ago this particular line in here and said I believe we're going to see an increase in open interest. That is typically accompanied by increasing prices, and that's what we're starting to see. But a lot of patience is required, because things don't just turn on a dime. They take some time to turn around. As Bitcoin moves, so does the entire crypto market. This is really important to understand. A lot of people don't understand this fundamental fact. I'm really glad to see a lot of influencers out there starting to teach their people about Bitcoin's price impact on their beloved alts. Well done, everyone. That's really, really good to see. Before I came along, nobody talked about Bitcoin's fingerprint, and this particular rule, Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, was hidden from view. I'd just like to share something with you from inside the Masterclass. Masterclass students, you get this particular live chart in TM14. There's been some really interesting discussion about the role USDC is playing in various alts. USDC has a market capitalization of 49.75 billion compared to Tether, which is the dominant player, which is around 78.15 billion. What actually happens here when a particular token, say BTC or ETH, is paired with USDC, it actually plays out a different kind of price movement than the same crypto paired with USDT. This is really interesting because there is less supply. There is less liquidity in the USDC market. We can get long tail rejections down. Please keep that in mind, and that's the logic and reasoning behind it. In other words, anything paired with USDC can be very, very interesting to trade. And also keep your eye open for BUSD pairing and DAI pairing. You can see the difference between the variability of that particular stablecoin compared to Tether. Turning to the KS model, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology, I have a specific indicator that I developed, this green line and this red line. What these lines particularly mean is when price gets down to this green line, we're really interested in buying. That's like the best fair value that we could get. What is that reading right now? It's 26,116. Now, how did I know that? Where did that number come from? It's just up here. So if I go get rid of my mouse cursor, you can see 26,115.99 now. This is a live model, and Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TM2, the KS model. What we're actually seeing is that the relative strength has just basically collapsed down to a level which is so incredibly oversold that it makes one of the best entry positions that we can possibly get. Now, this is not the entry position of anyone with a retail mindset. All of those retail mindset people will be thinking, the crash is coming, the crash is coming. And even when crashes do come, actually layering down as low as you can get, you can see the relative RSI just bottomed out here. These are the best times to get into the market. This is called a black swan. We've had quite a few of them. We've had 4 of them recently. So how does this impact the 25th of May 2022 prediction of 486,000? I'd like to thank Ted Boyston, who created this model, which is basically tracking the 486,000 using a confluence of different mathematical techniques. Well done, Ted. The concept here is that price actually goes exponential in the crypto market. It's not too far away from consolidating up here, and this can turn around really, really quickly. A lot of people, and I can see a lot of influencers, they just have a retail mindset. They think that price moves in a linear fashion like the stock market. It does not. Crypto is exponential on exponential, exponential squared. It's still a possibility to hit 486, but the incredibly important point is, where do we feel the minimum would be? I said nearly a year ago, that the minimum was $132,418. This is really important. It should hit this minimum in order not to break a previously protected mathematical all-time high, that particular level of 19,666. Of course, I expect price to exceed 132, and a lot of people say that it takes $1 of $1 of volume to get $1 of market cap. This is simply not true. That's another retail myth that is busted inside the masterclass, and we talk about it a lot as well. One thing that people may like to keep in mind, when we have so many black swans all clustered together, they artificially dampen price action. We need to normalize this. This can extend the time, but I'm not extending the 25th of May 2022 just yet. When we think that Bitcoin has been coming down for 83 days, that is a wave down. We expect a wave up. That's just normal price behavior, and that wave up could be quite a wave up. It could be an exponential wave up, because a lot of people are going really, really negative. When you have very high negative sentiment on a retail side, that's when you want to be leaning into positions, not exiting them. Let's quickly look across the stock market. Masterclass students in TM6, you will get my live chart here. Looking at the VIX, the fear gauge of the market, we can see exactly what I said in the previous episode. This is really, really spiky. When it starts to come down, it typically just collapses, and that's what we're seeing here. When fear collapses, what happened? Greed explodes. This is good to see, and we can see the Nasdaq 100 just rallying. We can also see light crude oil increasing in price. Bond prices have consolidated. Yields, or bond yields, are playing around at a resistance level. What does this basically mean? When you hit a resistance level, and I'll show you a little bit more how to draw support and resistance on a chart, because we talked about it a couple of episodes ago, but I wanted to introduce you to the ambassadors in the last video. What we can see, when we hit resistance, price comes down. Resistance is always repelling upward price. What about support? We see here with the support on gold. Gold hit its support level and did a technical bounce. That's exactly what I anticipated it would do, and I called that one out quite a few days ago. When we see the DXY had a very, very strong resistance level here. The DXY just blasted through it and didn't even look backwards. But there's another very strong resistance level at play at 97,545. When the DXY gets above that particular resistance level, the next resistance is 98,912. Just things to be aware of. Price is always moving in a wave. Let's have a look at gold, silver, the inverse DXY, and how it relates to Bitcoin. Masterclass students, you will get this in TR23. What we can see is gold price has just plummeted, as has silver. The inverse DXY has plummeted. That means the DXY has gone up. What we can see here is the relationship with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been increasing. What could be behind this steep sell-off in gold? Gold is a geopolitically sensitive metal. When there's a lot of geopolitical conflict or turmoil, you can think wars, you can think all sorts of different things, but wars especially are sensitive, and pandemics. When we see gold selling off like this means that the smart money is basically saying, I don't think it's going to happen, whatever that bad thing is. And we can see inside the Russian market sentiment, if we're talking Russia and Ukraine, which is a big reason for gold to spike. There's, of course, other reasons as well. It's just one. But we see the Russian market actually recovering a bit here. What that is, it's very good for the world, because if Russia doesn't invade Ukraine, that's better for global stability. And if Russia was expected to actually invade Ukraine, gold would be going off the charts at the moment, and the Russian market would be losing its sentiment. We've seen the Russian market losing sentiment quite a lot. We can look at the charts and we can know the news. This is really, really valuable stuff. But why do we look at this? Why don't we just go and look at a single alt? The reason is because Bitcoin's gravity will impact the entire crypto market. We can see that Bitcoin is positive at the moment. That is pulling up the entire crypto market. We've seen the exact opposite. Where Bitcoin goes red, the entire crypto market goes red. Less about 1% of crypto projects. From a macroeconomics perspective, it's really important to look at C19, especially as it relates to closures. We can see around the world about 377.5 million cases. We've had a very sharp increase in the number of daily new cases, and we've got a bit of a blip with daily deaths as well. When looking at yesterday's figures, we can see a total number of new cases around 2.32 million just in the last 24 hours. I appreciate the very many community members who've reached out to me and just shared that inside different countries they're relaxing restrictions. The way we look at this is that we just go through the stringency index to see what countries are actually decreasing their stringency, and there's quite a few. Some countries are actually increasing their stringency, but a lot of countries are actually running out of money. And when I say running out of money, what I mean is that they can print infinite amounts of money. That's not the issue. What the issue is inflation. If they get too much money printing inside their economic system, they will create inflation that goes out of control. Closures can impact the transportation indices. Masterclass students, you will receive this live chart in TM3. When we look at Bitcoin, which is this yellow line, we've seen a recovery, a bounce in Bitcoin's price action. After all, it's been coming down for 83 days. It's definitely ready for a bounce, and those bounces can be very severe. I've seen a lot of people talk about linear bounces. That's, for example, if Bitcoin was to increase by X dollars per day. Bitcoin doesn't do that. It's an exponential asset class. The stock market can do things like that, but Bitcoin definitely cannot. Bitcoin is a basic market of bubbles. A lot of people say Bitcoin is in a bubble. Yeah, it is. It's true. Bitcoin's always been in a bubble, but it represents the ownership layer of the next generation of the internet, a technology that will utterly change the world. It's a bubble that is a worthwhile technology as well. People frequently refer to bubbles, for example, the tulip bubble, and a whole lot of other bubbles. What we see with Bitcoin and crypto, it is the base foundational layer for the next evolution of our financial system. Of course, the banks don't like it, and coming from a finance degree background, I understand, and an actuarial science background, I definitely understand that the banks not happy with Bitcoin and crypto, but it's the very bubble nature that puts it off their radar, especially when price goes down, and especially related to the volatility of the asset class. We can see a lot of the transportation indexes are doing a bounce. Why are they bouncing? Because the NASDAQ, the major indices, are bouncing as well. A lot of people talk about inflation, and it's important to actually get rid of the noise and look at the charts and run the numbers. That's what we do. So Bitcoin compared to inflation expectations, we can see Bitcoin here in yellow going down for so many days, month after month after month, and we can see the NASDAQ starting to bounce, the 10-year break-even inflation rate starting to bounce, the 5-year break-even inflation rate starting to bounce. What this means, it's really positive for Bitcoin, and we can see for especially the 5-year, it's created a low and a higher low here. There's a level of support playing in here, not so much with the 10-year. So what we may actually see is short-term inflation going up, but longer-term inflation heading down. That's why we look at these particular things. Masterclass students, you'll get this in TM4. When looking at the Chinese property market sentiment, it's really important for us to run the numbers on this. We're looking at the share prices of the major 7 property market companies. They have net debt in excess of $1 trillion. If you think about it, Evergrande is just a baby in terms of debt, and that's that blue line here. We can see that there's been a bit of negative momentum in terms of these market giants, and it's in all probability due to debt servicing. Let's just have a quick look at the news. Just going through quickly, we can see China considering breaking up Evergrande to contain the crisis. China home builders, suppliers issue a lot of profit warnings. Evergrande shares fall as restructuring roadmap disappoints creditors. Evergrande faces forced sale of Hong Kong land it pledged for a loan. You get the idea. There's a little bit of turbulence, and that's showing up in the stock price. That's why we look at it. We don't need the news. We understand the news already. It's all coming out in the chart. Masterclass students, you will get this chart in TM5. I thought I'd just help you a little bit with NASDAQ's directional movement. The NASDAQ 100 here in blue, you can see that there is an association with the directional correlation of Bitcoin. And what we're seeing is the NASDAQ has rallied strongly. Do we anticipate 38,935 to be broken? On the basis of probability, it's very probable, but remember, when you have a very strong movement upwards in an index, you always get a wave down to consolidate. There's always profit taking. When we look across the globe, we see basic signs, a stacking of probabilities that Bitcoin's price can be supported for higher movements. Just beware of institutional investors As soon as retail gets a hint at their plans, they generally do technical violations. This is really important to understand. A technical violation is something like this. They just sell down to freak people out, and they do it really effectively. Understanding the institutional or smart money mindset will save you from so many sleepless nights. Now that we've understand the macroeconomic view of Bitcoin, and if you don't do that, basically you will not know how Bitcoin's momentum will impact your beloved alts. If you don't know that, you will actually lose a lot of money. I think we've got to a point in society where people want bite-sized chunks of information. They want everything easily, and of course we understand that, but this is your hard-earned money on the line. You need as much knowledge as you can possibly get, unless of course it's a gamble. And if it's a gamble, your luck may hold for a certain amount of time, but it will definitely run out. Wealth cannot be maintained by gambling. It never can be. Professional gamblers have knowledge. They're not gambling. They run the numbers. Let's have a look at some of the giants. What we can see, Bitcoin has been coming down for a protracted period of time. Depending on where we measure these days from, we could measure from back here or just the peak. It's been coming down for a really, really long time, nearly 3 months. A lot of people are really, really tired, and they will be selling. They will be basically worn out by the institutions. Don't sell your Bitcoin or crypto to Michael Saylor. Michael, get your own crypto. When we look at Bitcoin's price, it's getting above this once resistance line, now turned to support. And this is what support and resistance lines actually do. We can see here with this particular price movement, price was constrained below that resistance level, and then it got above and started to change the trend. It was going down still, but this is a sign of strength, because what we're seeing is the trend changing. When something is continuously below resistance, that means it takes more effort to get above that resistance and into support. What this is showing us is the sellers are slowly losing control. We can see with Ethereum, we've had a big, what I call a capitulation event. When we get these really, really long red lines, and the longer the better, that basically says all of the particular longs, the retail hands, have been taken out of the market by the institutions. It's a terrible game that they play. That's why I share my knowledge. I want you to be protected, and the only way you can be protected is by learning. This knowledge is hard to come by, and it takes decades and decades to acquire. When we look at Ethereum, Ethereum is still under resistance. For example, if we draw, I'll just turn that magnet off. If we draw a particular resistance line through here, we can see that there is a degree of resistance that Ethereum is still under. Now notice that I've gone through that particular peak. This is an 8-hour chart. Sometimes these long lines actually distort price, and there's so many things that I need to teach you about drawing resistance and support lines in together. What you're trying to do is to go through the mass of price very, very tightly. This is not like candlestick analysis that happens in the stock market or Forex. They get very religious about where a particular line should be drawn. In crypto, we have exponential movements. You need very, very rapid signals. If you don't get a rapid signal, you will find that you can lose a lot of money, and I don't want that for you. When you can see these particular lines here, this is a resistance line. This what's called negative air. The sellers are well in control, but the sellers come out of control when you get a capitulation event. That's why we always love capitulations, because they inform us that the sellers are losing their power. I've developed a specific method just for crypto technical analysis called the CTKS method, and that method is specifically designed to create support and resistance levels. And if you've ever gone through candlestick analysis, you'll understand that there's so many Japanese names attached to candlesticks, dojis and gravestones and dragonflies and engulfing and all sorts of fun things. When you actually study this CTKS method, you won't need any of those names. You'll actually understand where price is going. It's really quite revolutionary. But that's from my background as an inventor. Let's have a look at Binance Coin. You can already see with your eye that this is under resistance. We've had a capitulation event. I think that we may actually have one more leg down, but it will just be a technical violation. I'm not expecting anything like this, but of course with crypto you can never tell. There is no certainty in crypto. You just keep on thinking of your three-way scenario. That is, if price goes up, what do you do? If it goes down, what do you do? And if it goes sideways, what do you do? What actually happens? A lot of retail traders and investors only think about one of these scenarios, and when price goes the other way, they're just not ready for it, and it pulls the rug out from under their feet. Professionals always think of these three dimensions. We can see Bitcoin's fingerprint. See here in the blue, when we're looking at Solana, Solana is following Bitcoin's fingerprint. It always, I find it really funny when particular influencers say, look at this alt, it's very close to Bitcoin's fingerprint. Or they just say Bitcoin's price action. This is the way of the crypto market. If more people understood that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And I would urge any influencers watching this, and if you're watching our community, you're already a very good person, and I know that. I would suggest sharing that rule. Please share Rule 45 with your community. It's really, really important. And I am here in the crypto space to just make as many people successful as possible. I'm here to share, and I'm here to pass on my knowledge. And you can hear it from me directly when you go to www.cryptotechnicalanalysis.org and just go to testimonials. That particular video will explain why I do what I do. I want as many people in the crypto market to be as successful as they possibly can be. And I'm not interested in concepts of competition. I'm only here to cooperate. When we look at Cardano, we can see Cardano, ADA, is under resistance, but it's following Bitcoin's fingerprint. But it wasn't there for a while. Notice this, Cardano came down, and then Bitcoin went up, and ADA kept on coming down. Sometimes things go too far up too quickly and they have to consolidate. When you see a realignment in gravity, that's really important. That means that that particular crypto has reset. But we're seeing some interesting things in ADA. Charles, you need to contact me and let me know what's going on here. We can see with XRP, it's following the directional movement of Bitcoin very, very closely. Got a little bit of weakness in here, but that's not surprising. The SEC certainly has XRP in its crosshairs. People should understand that XRP must win the legal battle against the SEC. It's important for all of the crypto space. Let's have a look at DOT. Look at Bitcoin's fingerprint. Look at that blue line. It's just following DOT to a ping because DOT is actually following Bitcoin. That's the role of gravity. And we've seen for about 3 months that Bitcoin has been going down and down and down and down and down. Naughty Bitcoin. Time to go up, my friend. When we look at Luna, Luna diverged from Bitcoin's gravity. You see Luna came up as Bitcoin was coming down. And a lot of people around this particular period of time said, wow, Luna's going to the moon. It's just going to go up and up. And we said, just by at support levels down. Support is where price tends to accumulate, where price is respected, if you like, by the market, by buyers and of course sellers. What we saw is Luna doing what Luna does, getting really spiky, coming up and down. And we always noted Luna's behavior is very spiky behavior. It can go up and down by 30% within a day, within 8 hours. It's really important to understand crypto is not like the stock market. It's not like Forex. You'll notice a lot of particular white lines in here. These are called 10-5-10 levels. What we understand with crypto, we cannot ever understand how exactly far down a price will go. We just seek to have buy orders on good projects there waiting. And there's been a little bit of controversy in the media just recently about Luna, trying to explain why price goes down. I always say, out of all the explanations, you will find that about 1% of explanations are correct. What you can actually see, compare Luna to Solana, and you can compare it also to XRP and also to Binance Coin. What is causing this downward momentum? Answer, Bitcoin is causing it. That is actually the correct answer. And 1% of economic commentators or crypto commentators get that right. It's important to understand Bitcoin's gravity. No alt can escape it. It can escape it momentarily, but it will be brought back into alignment. And when Bitcoin starts to rally, lo and behold, all of these alts start to rally with it. And everybody's perplexed because, hang on a second, the fundamentals said X would happen. It should go down or it should go up, but it's going the other way. It's because of Bitcoin. When we look at Doge, we can see Doge is following Bitcoin's fingerprint, as is 99% of the crypto market. What we can see is AVAX is quite interesting, isn't it? We've seen Bitcoin's fingerprint pull AVAX up and then it goes out of alignment. Bitcoin goes up, AVAX comes down. It eventually crosses over. As Bitcoin is coming down, AVAX is going up, and now it's realigning, it's resetting. Sometimes in the market we need these reset events, and I'm not talking about the great reset. Yes, we will not be happy if we don't own things. Please, World Economic Forum. That concept about the World Economic Forum was basically, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. This came from a 2016 World Economic Forum social media video that had 8 predictions about what the world in 2030 would look like. And there was a little bit more to it. What you want, you'll rent, and it will be delivered by drone. Basically, Reuters did a fact check analysis on it, and they said the verdict was false. The World Economic Forum does not have a stated goal to have people own nothing and be happy. By 2030, its Agenda 2030 framework outlines an aim to ensure all people have access to ownership and control over land and other forms of property. How nice of them. We can see SHIB has come back into alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Matic was out of alignment for a time and has now come back into alignment. This realignment is really, really important. That's why I cover so many cryptos every day, because as you can see, things go into alignment and out of alignment from time to time. Litecoin in alignment. Uni also in alignment. We can see Algo wobbling around a bit. When things go out of alignment, they have a specific fingerprint. Notice Algo just went up the wall, came down the stairs, just like ADA. Now what happened? Even though Bitcoin was going up, we saw consolidation here, and then it's coming down. These big moves must be digested. We've seen some unusual strength in Chainlink. Just keep that in mind. We want to find cryptos that are moving with strength. Please do not pick cryptos that are moving with weakness. You want them to turn around because weak cryptos can get weaker. Looking at Bitcoin Cash, it's just following Bitcoin's fingerprint. Tron, TRX, is following Bitcoin's fingerprint as well. You can see that the entire crypto market is just going to explode when Bitcoin starts to repair, starts to move in that wave up. Look at Mana, Decentraland, look at all that power. Where is it coming up to? This is a level of resistance of previous support that was broken. It's turned into resistance. Keep in mind that you always want to buy without any FOMO. Don't have a fear of missing out. That's a zone 1 and zone 2 behavior that will give you a lot of sleepless nights. The way towards wealth is actually buying at levels of support below. And there's a few that we can use here. I'll just actually zoom into that for you. One particular question that I get asked, should it be in log or just normal arithmetic scale? You can see log and normal. The answer to that is it depends on the time period that you're seeking to trade something through. If you're on a shorter time frame period, it really depends on what gives you the most variability around the price. For example, when we go to log, you can see things are squished up. Technical term. But when you go off log, you can see things waver around more. If you're doing short-term trading, you want to see higher variability because you want to actually focus in on where you can find support and resistance levels that a lot of other short-term traders will be looking for. Okay, what I'm going to do here is to show you how to draw support levels, horizontal support for this area of price. Now, what am I going to do here? I'm going to look back. So have a look at this particular area. Through here was an area of support. Now that support, I'm just going to play through there. It came down all the way down. This shows you the variability. This is why we love to buy these long tail spikes. You can buy them and sell them. Let's have a look. What else are we noticing? Around here is another area where price is being respected. And it's being respected many, many times. That's a good thing. What about here? Just zooming in a little bit more to this particular action. I'll just zoom in here now. Okay, let's continue. We can see some levels in here. It depends how granular you want to get. There's another level of resistance that when actually bypassed turns to support. And you can see this up and down movement. There's another level through here. And of course, there's a level through here. If you are interested to get into Mana, Decentraland, should you buy at market? I have got a very good answer for you. No way ever do you buy at market. One of our community members in the masterclass said a very, very good thing. When you buy at market, you're paying for the seller's premium. You're basically taking what the sellers want to give you, and the sellers want their price. So when you buy at market, you're always paying higher than what you should be. When you buy at levels of support, lower, 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 you have an order that's placed into the market by what's called a limit order. Please make sure that you're trading at spot. And the number of levels that you take is completely up to you. But when you can spread your particular total amount over a wide variety of levels in whatever way makes you happy, whatever way gives you an edge in the market, that is what to do. We're going to leave these levels on Mana and we're going to see how they play out. I always pay attention to every comment, and I do my best to read every single comment across all the various social media platforms and inside and outside the masterclass as well. I'm always seeking to add the maximum amount of value that I can add for you. What it often means is that I can't answer every single question, the hundreds of questions that I get every day. I can't all do them in the next episode, but I will do them as soon as I can for you. It's really good to do these thought experiments, and many people in the community really love mana as well. And what's not to love? Axie Infinity, we can see, is under resistance. This looks very much like Ethereum. You can see this negative air here. Negative air is created when price doesn't come up to meet the resistance line. I'll look at Rose a little bit later. We can see VET is starting to get to the other side of its once resistance, and then resistance turns to support when you actually extend it down like this. You can see it's over that and it's starting to consolidate. And we know what happened to VET. Bitcoin happened. Cosmos, we can see Cosmos had a very strong level of resistance. What happens when we get this butting up against resistance? It basically means that we have to wait for price to accumulate to a lower area and then to push through it. It's just like a life pullback. You can encounter some issue in your life. You feel like things are going against you, but you maintain and create and increase your strength and you go again. You're just like a crypto, exponential. We can also see FTT is doing really well. We had a big sell-off, but look at this power. These exchange tokens can do extremely well. Let's have a look at Rose. Looking at Rose, we saw Rose actually increase about 87.87%, and then over the span of Bitcoin's reduction in price down to this low, we saw a reduction of 53.18%. We're seeing on average about 11% variability. It could go as high as 15% in terms of an up and down movement currently along this particular line. And this is a daily chart. So we can see for 8 days, Rose has been basically consolidating. It's consolidating over a resistance level. This is really, really good. And if Bitcoin's price starts to rally up, we would expect Rose to do really well. But again, as always, we buy in layers of support. And it's really important to become disassociated with your buy. You basically set and forget. You can move your buy levels around, and that is always a good idea if you're seeing a specific sign. For example, some of the buy levels in Rose that I have, because we're doing this thought experiment, I will move up after this video because we're starting to see a good degree of consolidation. What we see is that when Rose gets back up to this particular level, just remember it came down 53.18%. When it comes back from that level back to that top, it will go up 113.57%. We never know how spiky, implosive, or explosive a crypto will be. A case in point is FTT. We saw FTT take a nosedive down and then just suddenly recuperate. Often you will not have the opportunity to get in and buy at these lower levels unless you have orders waiting. And we always know about the variability inside each crypto. Many people say that their alt doesn't obey Bitcoin's gravity. You can see Bitcoin's gravity here in the blue line. Every alt obeys Bitcoin's gravity at some stage. We can see, for example, with FTT, things were coming down. Notice when there is a divergence between Bitcoin's gravity and the particular alt, it's often followed by a large move down. What do we see here? FTT was coming up and up and up, large moves up, and then the gravity pulled it down. It dropped off a cliff. This is what, please keep this in mind. This is really, really important to understand. I've just zoomed in a little bit because I wanted to show you the incredible volatility. Over about 3 days and 16 hours, FTT came down about 37.58% from that high to that low. It's since over 7 days, 8 hours, come back 41.47%. When you buy in layers down, you don't have to jam all the layers together. You can spread them out. It really depends on the psychology of the crypto that you look at. And that's why the CTKS method of drawing support and resistance lines is really revolutionary. You understand the psychology of buyers and sellers in the market. It's very, very powerful. Rule 444, ignore tips, advice, and marketing. This is really important. Always make your own way in the crypto space. You just need the knowledge. With the knowledge, you will combine it through your uniqueness and find an edge that works just for you. Always remember too that you are a completely unique individual. You have unique needs and wants. You have a unique financial situation. A lot of experts want to give you advice and make you vanilla, the same as everybody else. Of course you're not vanilla. You're your own flavor. That's why I say experts do not know your needs, because they have no idea. Looking at the community favorites, we see Veracity still under resistance, but following Bitcoin's fingerprint. This is really important. As Bitcoin turns around, Veracity will turn around, and it's come down quite a lot. When we look at the percentages, when something comes down a lot, it means that it goes up a lot too. Part of Zone 3 behavior is to have a 10-5-10 volatility fund. This is not about greed. This is about buying the dips, but doing so in a very, very intelligent and knowledgeable way. I had quite a few people reach out to me in terms of Luna. They bought Luna around $44, and it came down just a little bit more than that, but that was a really, really good buy, and they've already turned it over for a good profit. The critical thing is there is no set rule. There's only a rule that you want to be continuously profitable. And continuously doesn't mean that you'll actually be 100% profitable under all circumstances. That's not how it works. On average, you need to be profitable, but you will always have some losing trades. That is part and parcel of the market, especially crypto. But if you buy at spot and you do your risk management by selecting the right particular token or crypto, you'll do really well. So returning to VRA, we can see that it's just under Bitcoin's gravity. See the exact same thing with Icon. Icon has a little bit more power than VRA at the moment. Sushi is still under resistance. We look at IOTA. IOTA is just following Bitcoin's gravity. It's important to understand how Bitcoin's gravity will impact the performance of your beloved alts. Looking at Phantom, we'll go into LRC in a little tick. Looking at Phantom, we saw a divergence from Bitcoin's gravity. What do we know? When we get a divergence, we'll get a snapback. So this is really important to understand, but it's showing power, and it's showing also very, very good support levels. When something shows power, you want to be involved with it. Crypto.com, getting above that once resistance line. We're getting a bit of a wobble, a bit of a retest there. We can see RSR just following Bitcoin's gravity. When Bitcoin turns around, RSR will do well. Let's have a look at Loopring. When we look at LRC Loopring, we can see it's come down 83.2%, but it's a very high performing alt. When it actually comes back to this particular top, when it recovers that price, it will have moved from 83.2% down, not 83.2% up, but 494.53% up. This is one thing institutions and smart money do not tell retail traders and investors. When you have very highly suppressed price in a very good crypto with positive momentum, the recovery can be very, very significant. It's always good to know these things, but you must pick your projects well. In the timing section of the masterclass, I give you a variety of ways and methods that you can independently assess cryptos on their technical power. I love reading through the comments, and I just wanted to reach out to Anna. Anna said, I'm one of those going through a life downturn, caring for a sick family member, but I know the sun will come out again. Absolutely it will, Anna. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your loved one as well. Art perfectly captured what the ambassadors are all about, and there were so many beautiful comments on the channel from our community members, our extended global family, to the ambassadors. Art said, thanks Ken, and congratulations to all the new CTKS ambassadors. Integrity, decency and kindness describes all these folks very well. Very deserving people. Absolutely, Art. Thank you, my friend. It's really lovely for you to say. And that captures the spirit of all the very beautiful comments congratulating the ambassadors as well. And to Edwin Aragon, thank you, my friend. Very beautiful comment. It really has been very heart-opening that even if you fail, you can still succeed in crypto trading. By changing how you view the market and how to properly read and set up your charts, I'm still learning, and I love being able to see price hit my trend lines, but being patient to see it play out. Well done, Edwin. And Silver Fox, thank you so much for your comment. Your videos and masterclass are simply the best education available for learning this most volatile field. Thank you, my friend. And Free Dentist had some very lovely things to say, but also some important points. On the videos from YouTube, influencers, most of them are in fact selling their views, opinions and TA because they are all certain about the fact that they are right and nobody else can beat them to it. Yow. Everything is probability, so we always have to move inside probability. Every day on our community channel, we look at the probabilities and we assess where they're going. Knowing that patience is on my side already, I'm focusing on dedication. Step by step, I'm learning in the masterclass, which is very mind-blowing. Thank you, my friend. In yesterday's video, we talked about the role of patience and commitment, and Rajat said, with regards to patience and commitment, I'll say that they're paramount to success. It took me many years to become an accomplished accountant. And that makes so much sense. Whatever you need to study for university, being an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, it doesn't matter what that particular profession is. It does take time. And I think in our society, we think everything can just happen within 60 seconds. If it does, it won't create lasting value. Rajat said, my journey started when I was in school and continues to this day. As you always say, Ken, go slow to go fast. Hard work and patience always pays off in the long run. Wishing everyone a wonderful day and night. Thank you, Rajat. I'm a big, huge believer in hard work. Hard work paves the road to success, and there's no other thing that can do it. Hard work with persistence and consistency, day in, day out, even if you feel like you don't want to. And learning is like that. Sometimes we don't feel like learning, but it's really, really important to do so. All the most successful people in the world learn every day. And very lovely what Flamingo said, this is truly the best crypto community on the planet. It is a highlight of my day to watch these videos and read the comments. Absolutely, we have the most incredible community. It's really a globally extended family, and it's full of wonderful, wonderful people. I appreciate you all so much. And Gayatri Home Ashram, congratulations to all of you, and thank you, Ken, for your big and kind heart, wanting always to give the best out to you, to all of us. Absolutely. Thank you so much, my friend. That's very beautiful. Thank you also to Marco. I love your attitude to talk in an easy way about complex topics. There is evidence of that going through the masterclass lessons, a real game-changing tool. And thank you so much for wishing your deepest congrats to the new ambassadors. Very nice of you, Marco. And Jeannie, what a really lovely comment. Patience and commitment is super important for learning anything we want to get better at. Flamingo, one of our ambassadors, very, very good statement on patience and commitment. Patience and commitment is required for anything worth undertaking, such as better health, raising children or pets, improving your financial situation, learning a new skill, remodeling a home. It takes time and commitment, and it's always worth it. It feels great and empowering when you know you've accomplished your goals and you can look back and see the time and commitment put in was well worth it. Flamingo also said, whenever I've cut corners, I've regretted it because it cost me time, money, and even dignity sometimes. Coming from a statistics and mathematical background, I love running the numbers, as you know, and I've put a lot of coding in behind the masterclass system. I know exactly how much time everybody spent on different topics. I know that if people have cut corners, and I would suggest to anyone that is just kind of skipping ahead, I understand the concept, but going step by step is really, really important because I layer very important foundations, one video at a time. I think the thing to remember is that no one gets a sudden rise, not even the sun. It takes time to rise to the peak of success. You just have to keep your efforts going. Maintaining a positive attitude and knowing that you'll accomplish great things is a key. And always remember, going slowly is still going, and you learn exponentially. You'll find that there's a point where the penny will drop and everything will come together for you. And Brett said something really important on that. Hope and patience go together. Having patience without hope is like driving a car without a direction. You need to believe that one day you'll get there. Patience in crypto, patience in learning, patience in life. All things are difficult before they become easy. And it's all about having a good attitude while we wait. Crypto is exponential, but so too is learning. Very, very good, Brett. And I love the rule that Brett created. Rule number 1, be like Ken, be kind. How sweet, Brett. It's really beautiful. And thank you to Via Frequency. Much respect to you, Ken, for encouraging people to seek the things in life that truly matter, like real wealth, inner and outer peace, fearlessness, and fulfillment. Thank you, Via Frequency. These are really important aspects of life and very overlooked by our fast-paced society. We don't just skim across the surface of the pond here at the CTKS community. We dive more deeply into things that truly matter. Dinesh also said something fantastic. Ken, to answer today's question, I think we have to go through the pain before we get benefit. So commitment and patience and interest is a must. Absolutely. It's a really, really good point. Anything worthwhile requires effort and hard work. And you know that many things that are given to you are totally valueless. But the things that you have to work really, really hard towards that make a difference are very, very valuable. And you get such a sense of accomplishment from getting there. Dinesh goes on, in my case, I've signed up for the masterclass. However, I've learned not to FOMO in, and that opportunities exist daily. Currently, my priority is my own daughter's wedding. Congratulations, my friend, which we have had to cancel 3 times. Yes, everything's been absolutely up in the air. So I've decided to have patience till after the wedding on the 13th of March 2022. Till then, have patience, and after the wedding, give my full dedication to the masterclass. And I love this above everything. My goal is to pass on all my crypto knowledge to my family and friends, particularly to my son, daughter, and son-in-law. That is what it's all about. That's beautiful, Dinesh. Thank you also to Crypto Turtle. It's very interesting what Crypto Turtle said. A lot of the things that I do, I think they're basically not known by people, but people always know. They're very clever. Crypto Turtle said Ken could have given everyone 80% off who emailed him directly after the discount ended, and I could have done that, but I don't want to do that. My concept inside our community, I want everybody to be as well off financially, emotionally, spiritually, and otherwise that I can facilitate. So that's why the ambassadors exist. And anyone who commits to crypto technical analysis can be an ambassador. It's just my way of giving back. As you know, some of my videos are long, especially this one. This one was a lot longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to do knowledge transfer because so many people wanted to know about support and resistance. Crypto Turtle goes on, we are here to learn and spread the real wealth for ourselves and to the people we love. So beautiful. Crypto Turtle also said people are addicted to short information, short videos, and many of the influencers out there, they have, just paraphrasing Crypto Turtle's words here, they have their own views, which may or may not be in the viewer's best interests. What I do every day, I want everything to be within your interest. My only focus is on contribution to you and our magnificent community. And Crypto Turtle said, that is the end of the short video channels for me. Ken's videos are long but full of gems, and we're not complaining about the length of it, as we know that each video Ken creates takes 6 to 8 hours to produce. It's actually quite correct. These videos take an incredibly long period of time. It's like a full-time job, 7 days a week, but I'm really, really happy to do it because I know it helps so many people. Thank you, Crypto Turtle. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and thanks also to our ambassadors for embodying and representing real wealth and skill. Now you probably noticed that Coin360 is gone a little bit bananas. What we see is Coin360 is just going crazy on the prices. There you go. That's exactly why I went across to cryptorank.io/heatmaps, because this is not so banana. I also really like how it actually groups crypto into different sectors, different segments. This is fantastic. And you can see the stable coins. They're not all smack bang on $1. They actually wobble around quite a bit underneath the hood, but that's below most consciousness in terms of crypto. I thought for the comments section on YouTube, you might like to share your tokens, just what you're interested in or what you have, and that will allow me to better structure what we go through. I want to make everything as relevant and as valuable as possible for you, so please let me know what particular cryptos you hold. You only need to give the actual name, like BTC or ETH, Sol, DOT, whatever it is. Nothing about how much you hold. That's not important. I mentioned when Bitcoin got its act together that we may see double-digit gains for several days, maybe even up to a week. Just keep your eye on this. But of course, always make your in advance probabilistic choices and know that the market can turn around in any direction. Just be aware, but it looks quite positive at the moment. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.